Jennifer, thank you for posting your work. The first thing I want to say is the illustrative technique is absolutely gorgeous. Really nice job taking the time, the effort, and having the pride to really deliver a top-notch presentation. This is fantastic. Thank you. Okay, and you know what? All of your classmates are doing the same thing. I mean, with everything I've seen so far is fantastic. I love this class. I think the level of engagement in this class to me is remarkable. Excuse me. The level of effort that students are putting into their work is just remarkable to me, and I've noticed that as a trending pattern. So I'm anticipating and looking forward to seeing that continue through the end of the class. All right. So great illustrative style, wonderful job. I love the narrative. I think it's fantastic because it's just so creative and so interesting, and it just really sparks the imagination and just allows the kind of in a children's story kind of way. But it's not targeted at children; it's targeted at a general audience, and the communicative value is really outstanding. And I just love it. Okay, so let me talk about this. Okay, first of all, I'm really glad that you didn't place individual frames. A lot of students start this project by placing individual frames, storyboard style, right? Which is great. It's a great way to start. It's fantastic. As we can see here, it works. As we can see in Hillary's example, it works. But then you're confronted with this transition of how do I turn this into an interesting illustration without confining each of the individual cells of the narrative, confining them to their own little kind of square. And I think to a high degree, the success here is of this particular presentation is the fact that each of these illustrations have a relationship with other illustrations in the series because they're not confined to those boxes, right? There's nothing wrong with starting the project using boxes, but right now I think that you're a little bit ahead of the game in that you've already established these relationships of like that's the last to the first, the second last to the second, and the fourth to the sixth, et cetera, et cetera. Just each illustration has this inherent relationship with other illustrations in the series, and I think that's very successful. All right, as far as the narrative goes itself, I love it. I think this is great. Okay, little Mouse looks at himself in the mirror, looks at his belt. This is a little unclear, like what's happening with the belt. I think that we need to kind of show. Well, actually, it's not. It's not. I think it's this frame right here that's causing the confusion. Okay, so you have the mouse. He's putting his clothes on. Right? He puts his belt. He puts his trousers on. Okay, he looks at his belt. His belt is. I don't know. Is the buckle going to break or is it frayed or what's going to happen here? Right now, it looks like it's frayed. I'm wondering if that's the best way to do. Yeah, it's as good as showing maybe a potentially broken buckle, right? So he puts his pants on, puts his belt on. I'd like to see the belt. I'd like to see the illustrative style showing the belt somehow. Right now he's just back to his pants on. So it's very similar to this illustration, right? But we got to incorporate the belt some here. So we make this transition or we make this connection between the mouse with the trousers, the mouse with the belt, and the fact that the mouse is putting the belt on over the trousers. I would lose this frame right here because it's creating a little bit of confusion. We go from this to this, where all of a sudden he's just in a completely different setting and he sees a watch. I think that's conveyed beautifully right here. It's a thought bubble, okay? So we go from he's looking in the mirror, he's putting his belt on, right? And then all of a sudden the belt snaps, and I love this. We get a little embarrassed. Maybe we get those little eyebrows like this, like he's just embarrassed, like he's naked and everyone's watching, right? The Emperor's New Clothes. And so that's great. But at that point, we go from looking in the mirror, looking at the belt, examining the belt, putting the belt on, to the belt snapping, to his trousers falling off and him being embarrassed. Okay, then we go to the thought bubble of, okay, sometime earlier, the mouse saw the watch. Okay, then we have the mouse going to retrieve the watch. So I think to make that particularly clear, you would have to use the exact same background right here. Okay, so in his thought, he remembers the watch in this setting. When he goes to get the watch, he's got the watch in his hand, but it's the exact same setting, and I think that's going to draw a nice connection between these two frames. Okay, then he's got the watch, he takes the watch home. Maybe you could have him showing the mirror here to draw that connection that he's back home and he's about to use the drawing. It would be something synonymous or similar to this. Okay, then he's got his trousers are held up beautifully with his new belt. Let's have him head out now. Let's have him go somewhere or start walking. Like maybe he's walking really proud, swinging his arms back and forth through the field or the meadow or wherever he is, walking. So I think that ending, instead of just having his dog, if you hear that noise in the background, that's my dog. I swear it wasn't me. Anyway, so he's out and about, right? So he's hitting his day with his new belt and his new proud trousers. Okay, so those are my recommendations and those are my comments. So fantastic job. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Thank you.